In 1994, the world was at a pivotal moment for women's rights and reproductive health. As global movements emerged, pushing for gender equity and improved healthcare, the MacArthur Foundation saw an opportunity to make a lasting impact in Nigeria.
In 1994, it was a very hopeful, momentous world. We thought at that time that the foundation decided that we want to open an office in Nigeria, just as the same time an office was opened in India, in Brazil, in Mexico. Those are the countries with a bigger population that could contribute towards significant development of those countries in terms of the demographic dividends that we could realize if we're able to get our population well educated, given good health, given good information. So that was the big vision of, okay, how can we bring about like a snowballing effect in the world by working in those big countries that have the potential to contribute towards a bigger and better world. And at the time that the open was opened here in Nigeria, the office was the Office of the Population and Reproductive Health program. So it was only with the transition to civilian rule that the office eventually became a MacArthur Foundation office.
I'm working with MacArthur since 1994. I started with them at Ibadan.
It was a small place, and they were just coming into the country.
A MacArthur office was established in Nigeria, in Ibadan. And that was the first time they came and decided that they were going to have a program in Ibadan on population, particularly reproductive health as regards women.
Beginning with projects in population and reproductive health, in the last 3 decades, the MacArthur Foundation worked to improve access to healthcare, promote education, and empower communities to make informed health decisions, laying the foundation for healthier, more resilient societies.
Action Health's partnership with the MacArthur Foundation has been over the last 3 decades. The most impactful work that the foundation has funded us to do is in ensuring that there's a national sexuality education curriculum in Nigeria. This work became the foundation out of which different states across the Federation, actually all of the 36 states of the Federation of Nigeria, took a template for incorporating sexuality education into the school curriculum.
The MacArthur grant was the main basis of the midwifery service scheme succeeding as it did because of the work we did with them to achieve post-abortion care. Maternal mortality was reduced from about 1,000 per 100,000 live births to 417. Never happened anywhere in the world before, within a space of 5 years.
Building on early successes, the MacArthur Foundation expanded into secondary and higher education, improving access and quality. In criminal justice, it promoted reforms for fairness and efficiency, while championing human rights to protect the vulnerable, before pivoting to enabling increased accountability. 30 years later, the Foundation's commitment to Nigeria has led to significant progress in health, education, justice reform, human rights, and an independent media, shaping a more just and equitable society and impacting countless lives.
MacArthur's major achievement in my area of work, which is criminal justice, is the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. It is one of the major reforms in the law sector. It is the only law in this country that has received universal adoption. No other law has been passed at federal level and all states have adopted it, not even the Child Rights Act.
When I was in PACAC as the executive secretary, it was my responsibility to design its program. So my interaction with MacArthur started from that point of view because MacArthur joined with Usiwa and Ford to provide funding, $5 million to be precise, to support the new government. And it came in very useful. It was foresighted and farsighted.
The work we've done with MacArthur Foundation, it has always been around women's human rights under Sharia, women's human rights within the context of, culture and faith, and most importantly, what does the religion see? We worked for 12 years with their support on a 3-phase project that determined what the rights of women are in Islam, that decided, okay, how do we address the gaps in the enjoyment of these rights? What mechanisms do we need to put in place so that these rights, when they are infringed upon, the woman can assert, can also seek justice?
By 2014, we introduced a non-for-profit entity, which then we called the Premium Time Center for Investigative Journalism. Unlike in the past, you don't have a special desk for investigative journalism. We now say the newsroom. If you're doing sports journalism, you've got to be doing investigations. And that was revolutionary in Nigerian journalism, and it has to be, the credit has to go to MacArthur for that.
MacArthur has done a whole lot, to impart into the lives of so many vulnerable young girls through the empowerment of the Lady Mechanic Initiative.
BUK has spearheaded all the changes that you see in media and communication studies in Nigeria. And that has not only stopped at university level. Even the polytechnics in Nigeria are now keen into the new curriculum that we have developed. And that is significant. MacArthur Foundation gave the seed money for the establishment of Center for Dryland Agriculture. And that Center of Dryland Agriculture is now the best in Africa. That center has attracted World Bank funding to the tune of over $30 million.
The model, for instance, of cohort management, we are taking lessons from that into our engagements with community of practice management and some other interventions where we have significant coordinating role.
Broadly, we've seen increased accountability, we've seen increased transparency, we've seen increased involvement of CSO, civil society organization, in all this conversation, which hitherto was left for government official.
And it has also helped our Jesse as code, where now we have over 75% women and we have 65% female on the board. So this is something we've taken and we've learned from just implementing, the joint body project as a cohort member.
Sustainability remains at the heart of the Foundation's mission. Ensuring that the progress made today can endure for generations is a core priority. By fostering long-term partnerships, supporting local innovation, and investing in capacity building, this sustainable approach ensures that communities can continue to thrive, even as the challenges evolve.
MacArthur Foundation has an in-depth knowledge of the systems in place and latched on to those systems. Within the anti-corruption space, there's a national anti-corruption strategy. They supported the agencies that played dominant role within that project. As a result, if the project is winding to a close, it's so easy for the implementing partners within the government space to continue seamlessly. They will continue with that seamlessly.
I'm very confident that the work we've done around On Nigeria is going to be sustainable. First is because it's built capacity, so that capacity is not going to go away. A lot more organizations, a lot more individuals across Nigeria know and understand the processes of holding government accountable. They have access to tools, they have access to knowledge, they have access to information that enables them to hold government accountable.
So we've been able to train over 1,000 teachers across Nigeria, and we've been able to monitor our teachers to see that they keep teaching anti-corruption education.
The third National Corruption Survey from the National Bureau of Statistics and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime found 70% of Nigerians surveyed refused to pay a bribe. Fewer Nigerians reported negative consequences after refusing a bribe in 2023 than in 2019.
If civil society comes together as a coalition and decides to demand accountability from government, I think that, for me, that is a strong sustainability factor.
So the impact is lasting. It's not going to be something that is here today and gone tomorrow. I think they can be very proud of their legacy in Nigeria.
I hope that our impact when our story is written will be that MacArthur Foundation will be described as a friend of Nigeria, as a friend of Africa, as a philanthropic organization that has courage, that has also enabled the power of possibility and has facilitated positive change on the continent as a catalyst. And in the process of being a catalyst, you also changed. And so I hope people would say the MacArthur Foundation continues to learn, and we continue to listen, and we continue to put people first.
Through every challenge and every success, the MacArthur Foundation has remained steadfast in its vision of a Nigeria where equity, justice, and opportunity flourish for all. As we celebrate 30 years of transformative impact, we honor the partnerships, the lives changed, and the progress made. We look forward to the future with hope, ready to continue the journey towards even greater possibilities.